Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please. Here. No?
Mr. Runnemede. Mr. Lobenstein.
Here.
Mr. Farrell.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly. Here. Mr. Shapiro.
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Mr. Basler.
Here.
Mr. Bach.
Here.
And Ms. Strela. Here.
Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. One, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 5th, 2022, and two, emailed to the retrospective commission on January 5th, 2022. This is a caucus meeting, so it's slightly different, but we are going to do business first. So Resolution 22-73 is a resolution confirming 2022 appointments. We have Eric Speakman as a police officer and Denise Straley as a matron. Emergency management, we have Arthur Burns as OEM coordinator and Charles Ramon as deputy OEM coordinator. Administration, we have Karen Pasante, economic development consultant, and we are tabling the next two.
Yes.
Okay. So does everybody have that? The sewer department is being crossed off. So would someone like to make a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
As amended.
As amended. So is that correct? Mr. Lobenstein
Yes, as amended.
and Mr. Farrell. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly. Yes, as amended. Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes, as amended.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
And Mr. Runnemede.
Yes.
All right, the resolution is adopted. Mr. Speakman, you would like to come up?
Cleared out vehicles GOS.
So I apologize for being casual today. I have no tie on.
Thank you, Maureen.
I haven't had a tie, but it is a caucus day.
Four.
All right, I'll put your left hand on my, put your right hand on my, raise your right hand, put your left hand on my. Did you get it ready? Ready to go? I
I, Eric Speakman,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people. And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of, according to the best of my ability. And that I will not use my office to grant preferential treatment, nor to seek personal gain, favor, or advantage not available to the general public. So help me God. Congratulations again.
You know, I'm Chief Sampolsky, as we always do when we hire somebody. Mayor DePaz, I'm going to say a few words first.
Yes, you know, Eric was with us before. He left us, very disappointed, but he's back. So I'm very thrilled. I think it says a lot about this department. It says a lot about the leadership of this department. It says a lot about all the men in this department, in this community. So I expect Mr. Speakman to run with me every Sunday, run with the mayor. We're going to do 3 to 6 miles.
Are we still doing that?
We're still doing it. Please. So we're going to run again. But it's just wonderful to have this community always out and always supporting. And once again, Chief, thank you, and thank all of you. And good luck to you.
As I always introduce her as the face of public safety, Director Ellen Workell.
Thank you, Chief. I want to ask you a question. What are the 2 most important days and dates in your life? Anybody want to offer a suggestion what they might be? Yes?
When you're born and when you die.
When you're born and when you die. Thank you, David.
Make the most of everything.
However, Mark Twain put a little bit of a twist on that. He said, no, it's not when you're born, but it's the day you find out why you were born. That is the day that you should have as the two most important days. The day you're born, the day you find out why you're born. Eric knew he would be a policeman as early as 4 years old. There was no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He was one of those few people in the world that know from the time they can even imagine anything that he would be a police officer. Eric, we love you. We're so happy to have you back. No one is more happy than I am. When he walked in that door at that interview, I was so surprised because the chief told me that it was going to be a surprise. But interviews are interviews. No clue. You kept such a good secret. So when he walked in that door, you had to see the shock on my face. Welcome back. Welcome back to a beautiful, wonderful man that is going to be a role model and an inspiration for the people in our town. Thank you, Randy.
I'm Chief Sampolsky. I have to make an announcement to start. We have former Chief Daly in the house tonight. He was Eric's original chief when Eric was hired. This is a good one for me. You know, he kept it a secret a couple years ago when I was out. I had COVID. I was out for a couple weeks a couple years ago. They wouldn't tell me that Eric was leaving until I got back and was healthy because they knew how I'd react to it. And I was very, very, very upset about it because everybody knows how much I love this place and I love our police department, and I took it hard when he was leaving. I understood, but then I didn't understand, but now he's back. He had to go through the process. He knows what the process is. I was honest and upfront with him, but I'm so thankful that he's back because what I'm building here with these officers, administration I have, I want to be the best police department in the state, and I always do what's best for the community and the officers in the police department, and having him back is what's best for business. He had to go through the process just like everybody else, but I'm very thankful that he's back. Again, as I always say, I can't do anything without mayor and council support, Joyce, Beth, everybody at the table, our CFO, Shelley, and I can't do anything without their support. They support me 150%, so I can't thank them enough. They're the reason that we are where we are today. So I thank everybody. I'm going to go take a few pictures, and Eric's going to hit the ground running tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Take some pictures.
Before they go to work, can I, you say
What do you want up, Maria?
Oh, Captain Murray.
It's our PR person. So good. Tell her.
I was a little big. All right, now, excuse me, could you get in the picture? Sergeant
Thanks, coming to.
Sergeant Olson.
I wrote that. Yeah.
Sherry's gonna lot of me now.
Don't fall, please.
All right, one with all of you, please, before we go to the...
That's-
Oh, stop! Good. Can you please get up there?
You can see who's going on.
Somebody filling down here.
Yeah. Sorry, but they're not allowed in the picture room, so we have to handle this.
You get them all?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. We're never gonna have it.
Relax, it'll only be a minute.
I just need to step back a little bit, it's all right. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Send that to Maria. Change the world, baby. Change the world.
Man, clean and happy, good, bad,
You ready?
all good?
We'll talk. Thank you, Maria. Send that.
I got a ton.
All right, continue with the regular order of business. All right, so we have, next thing we have is Resolution 2274 is a resolution authorizing the 2022 budget to be read by title only at the time of the public hearing. Would someone like to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Powell, second. By Mr. Shapiro. Roll call, please. No call. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So public hearing. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. This is in regards to the 2022 municipal budget. Anyone wishing to speak on the municipal budget, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Let's hear the budget. Would someone like to make a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion to close the public
I'll
portion.
second that.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Public portion is closed. Resolution 2275 is a resolution adopting the 2022 municipal budget. Would someone like to make a motion to adopt the budget?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Ranieri, is there a second?
I'll say.
Second by Mr. Farrell. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
All ayes, one absent.
All right, the budget is adopted. Public hearing. This is another public hearing. This is for the sanitary sewer extension and pump stations. This is the New Jersey Environmental Infrastructure Financing Program project number S3, is that an S? S340363-07. Mr. Bach, would you like to take
Thank
over?
you, if I may. The mayor just referred to the sanitary sewer extension environmental planning document for a sanitary sewer extension and pump station project. This is an environmental planning document required under the financing under the New Jersey Environmental Infrastructure Trust. It is prepared for a proposed sanitary sewer extension project. This is one step in the process. It is a requirement for our financing, showing that we have no environmental impacts, and we have to go through a statutory set of requirements under our review. We all contained within the report that has been on file and available for public inspection. But in essence, this project is to eliminate sanitary existing septics and leach fields on Davis Road, Evergreen, Sunset, Sunnybrook, and extend a little bit of a sanitary sewer via force main through Hartford Drive. The provisions, and I'm just going to go by general characteristics of what was reviewed. Reviewed geology, topography, soils, hydrology, vegetation, wildlife, threatened and endangered species, water quality, air quality, historic and cultural resources, scenic resources, and then we had to look at impact avoidance, stormwater management, water control measures, soil erosion and sediment control, sewage disposal, which is exactly what we're doing with this project, solid waste disposal, water supply and water conservation, energy conservation, noise, and any site remediation. Then we look at the same things in terms of the impact of our report. The conclusion is we have no impact except for the requirement of having a soil erosion and sediment control permit issued by Camden County Soil Conservation District. In essence, the summary of this is we're doing the majority of the work in already paved or already developed areas. So with the conclusion that that is the only environmental impact, that measure will be incorporated and has already been incorporated in the documents that are already on file with the Borough and with the Environmental Infrastructure Trust and NJTPT. So that's the summary. And any questions from Mayor and Council? Yes.
How soon will we get a shovel in the ground? And
As soon as humanly possible, because the mayor reminds me on a daily, if not an hourly basis.
And do the 100 homes that this will affect, Have you heard anything from those people at all?
The next step after we get through this environmental document is to make the final submission, step forward to the Environmental Infrastructure Trust. I'm going to not speak for the mayor, but my understanding is we have public outreach meeting prior to the shuttle going into.
We can do a meeting, but we were also sending letters out again, because the residents have inquired, as you know. And I think if we send a letter, that'll at least be, more specifics, telling them exactly what's going on, that we're as close as we are. But I mean, we got to get to this last step, where we actually submit.
So what's your best guesstimate?
I prefer not to put a best guesstimate on that.
He's never going to give you an answer.
It would be.
Do you have any questions on the environmental study?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's fine. I trust you.
The one thing I would like to say about this, it is interesting that this area of the borough has never been sewered over the 50-some odd years that we had sewer within the borough, because it's a very difficult project. And it's been through a lot of individual steps. And we went very carefully through all the individual steps to make sure the resources of the borough are put to the best use, to make sure it is possible. We're very happy that we received the treatment works approval from the DEP, the other area of the DEP that approves us. So we have a permit, we're allowed to build the sewers and the pump stations. Now we're at the final step. We've already submitted this environmental document to the Environmental Infrastructure Trust. I've not received any review comments on it. And the very next step is go to financing and then get the shovel on the ground.
But this was required, this public
Yes.
hearing was required.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
So I'm very happy that all the feasibility, all the design, we're ready to go. Now we just have to follow those last couple steps, so we'll be out as soon as possible.
So what do I tell my friends that ask me all the time, what's going on?
You always call the mayor's office. That's what you tell them. No, this is-
Give my cell phone number,
That's what I have. Thank you.
cell phone number.
No, in fact, they're the ones so concerned, but they're not here tonight.
Cell phone. Cell phone. Give him my cell phone. Is this portion open to the public now?
You should.
Okay. So anyone wishing to ask any questions about this environmental study, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. No? Okay. Is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion to close the public.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Neary, second by Ms. Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Right, the public portion is closed. So we'll note that it was read, and we'll submit that.
And Ms. Pinto is going to do a separate set of minutes that comply with the IP requirements, so.
Okay,
Thank you.
We're going to continue on with the business. We have new business discussion items. Public hearing ordinance 2208. I don't have that in front of me.
It's the capital ordinance.
Capital, okay. Now that the budget's been introduced and adopted,
I have a prior obligation, Mr. Mayor, may I be excused?
absolutely.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Mr. Bach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
So once the capital ordinance is introduced and public hearing, we can start to make those purchases, the police vehicle, the fire equipment, public works stuff. A refunding of a planning board escrow, I think that's somebody withdrew. Authorization to enroll someone in the Firemen's Association. What is that?
We do that all the time. And I get the application from the fire department.
Authorization to release a bond for a road opening, which one is that?
That's Albano's,
Okay, you signed off on that?
Smith Road.
All right. Used car license, who's that?
There's another new person in the 602, is it?
Black Horse Bike?
It's a different person.
So that one is basically all paperwork's in order, that's all we have to do is issue it. And then liquor license renewals, do we have everybody's?
We do not. We'll put on what we can, and
Isn't there a deadline by the state?
yes, June 30th. So we still have
He's got the caucus meeting.
the caucus for those that have not complied.
I know deadlines do start, actually. What we'll do now is we're going to go around the room again. Ms. Kelly, do you want to get started?
I'm going to rely on my reporting council.
No problem. Mr. O'Neary?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Should I have a mic or am I loud enough?
Yeah, you can be recorded.
In finance, the adoption of our budget per resolution 2275 will be happening tonight. Once we adopt our budget, we will upload it to the FAST system. Our bond anticipation notes will be going on sale June 7th. That's when we start looking for some decent rates for financing. A public hearing for our capital ordinance 2208 is also going to be on June 7th. Outside of finance, I just want to mention the Green Team did make the deadline for the sustainable certification, our application. The deadline was the 22nd, and we got it in on the 22nd. And we expect to do well. We need 150 points to maintain our bronze status. And we introduced 350 points. We don't believe we're going to get 350, but we believe we're going to get enough to maintain our bronze status, and we are going to upgrade to silver. If it doesn't happen this year, it's going to happen probably next year. There's a lot going on, but I'm going to leave it at that, and the rest is progress.
Thank you, Jim. Mr. Farrell, you want to grab the microphone? That's all.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks, Mayor.
We did order the microphone, so.
An update on Manor Court and Bowers. Design's complete. Specifications and an estimate package have been submitted to the NJDOT, waiting for concurrence from the NJDOT. The project will be advertised for bid. Forest Avenue design is also complete, and the project will be advertised for bid. Mark mentioned he has some add-on to Forest Avenue when he's ready. East Sham Road sanitary sewer manhole replacement. Bids were received but were rejected due to constraints. Project is on hold until funding can be incorporated in the capital budget. Also, the sewer extension that Steve was talking about, a public meeting will be levied on May the 31st. Any comments from the public that require plan revision will be incorporated into the plans and submitted to NJDEP for authorization to advertise. All the rest projects.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Shapiro? do you have anything?
Just basically, everything's looking good with the fields. Of course, doing a good job with that. The shed at the softball field is up. It's almost done. They're still waiting for the work to come in. RYA started cycles for basketball, summer basketball this week, last week and this week. So we got a 6-week program just to have some.
You started a week early?
No, I said we started registration.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was going to say, because we have election day in there.
No,
You can't use it
nothing
all
like
on
everything's
election
happening
day.
now. The
Okay.
school's done.
Okay.
The school's out, so
Great.
probably the last week of June, the first week of June. And the rest is progress.
Mayor, I have a question.
Sure.
I was at my granddaughter's softball game, and they were talking about some people they want to put signs up. They have the money, but I think they give them money, and no signs have been put up in their name. So
Which places are they covered?
Girls
They still got a couple that
yes.
they still got it.
That's softball. It's on softball. It's not us. That's on softball. That's if you go to a meeting at softball.
So are you saying that they haven't gone up yet?
Right.
Well, we have a relationship with them. We'll make sure.
Right, we'll make sure they go up.
You know,
They
they
got a bunch of
businesses.
sizes.
Yeah, a couple, now I get them offhand, but it makes it,
Let me know when I'm.
Okay, they should have ordered it by now.
They should.
Okay. Anything else? No? Mr. Lobenstein?
Next week, I'm going to meet with on Monday, I'm going to meet with my youth mayor and council designate from Volks. And I got a list of stuff that Public Works does. It's just amazing when you think about all the things. Public Works does recycle pickup, overseas trash collection, public cans, street sweeping, sign replacement installation, painting of street markings and curbs, pothole repairs, sidewalk repairs, grass cutting all properties and recreational areas, tree maintenance, weed control, fertilizing, snow plowing, salting roads, grinding roads, catch basin cleaning, which is the stormwater drains, catch basin repairs in case they are in danger of collapsing, storm line repairs, storm line cleaning, litter patrol, animal caucuses, animal carcasses, instead of caucuses, sorry, carcasses removed from roadways, storm response, vehicle maintenance, equipment maintenance, sprinkler maintenance, flower planting, banner maintenance, building maintenance, janitorial cleaning, inspections, record keeping, carpentry, electrical, and special events. Sewer takes care of station maintenance, which we have 7 pump stations, main cleaning, the main lines, manhole maintenance, record keeping, sewer line repairs, emergency response for backups, and mark out utility lines on one call. That's just a list from Mr. Wozon. It's amazing all the stuff that Public Works does, and it's your tax dollars at work, and the rest is progress.
Thank you. We do have to add one thing to the resolution. We just got an email. Just so everyone's aware, when we lost one of our firefighters, we had to change the schedule for one of the other firefighters. But there is a union contract, and hours of work are a mandatory negotiable item. So we have a resolution. So what I'm asking council to approve tonight is resolution 2276 would be the change of hours for firefighters assigned to a 4-day work week. It would be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Thursday. Now, once again, council has the right to change these hours again as needed. Obviously, we want to work with our employees and the union to make sure that it all works for everybody.
That's what you do it is, sidebar agreement to the clerk.
But I need an authorization from council.
That's for the sidebar agreement, yes.
So what I'm asking also is authorization for the mayor to sign the memorandum.
Right, but in the memorandum, we're changing something?
So right now, that the employee's scheduled to a 4-hour work week, 4-day work week, work evenings and daytime. This would only be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. daytime hours. Which is,
the busiest time.
it's when, and we're going to rely on the part-timers from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the weekends until we decide what we're going to do next. But we're at least one employee short right now if we decide to have a full-time employee. So,
Can I make a motion to approve that resolution?
Yep.
For
Joyce, you got all that?
2276
yep.
for 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Changing his
Changing
hours.
hours.
4 days a week.
It's for any firefighter EMT scheduled for a 4-day work week.
It's 2 sidebar agreement, and then we'll attach the agreement.
Yeah, you can.
So I need a second.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right. Motion by Mr. Neary, second by Mr. Farrell. Any discussion? Roll call, please. Sorry. I move fast.
Mrs. Keller.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
And Mr. Rivera.
Yeah.
5 ayes, 1 absent.
Second resolution. And so,
Amazing how things could be weeks in the works, and then we
it's done,
email in 30 seconds. Like
yeah.
this. Yep.
Okay. What else do we have? Engineers report. Mr. Bayshore. He's got the most pieces.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I submitted my report in writing. Bob covered a lot of what I was going to talk about, so I thank you for doing that. I do want to go over a couple things, though, just to clarify. The DOT project and Forest Avenue were going to be bid at the same time. And the reason for that is Shelley's got to figure out where we're going to use capital money. So we're going Forest Avenue base bid and that alternate, and when we get the bids for both projects, we'll be able to figure out where the funds are going to go. So even though Forest Avenue is ready to go out to bid right now, we're waiting on DOT concurrence for the Manor Court and Ballard Avenue project. Under general engineering, DOT has announced that fiscal year 2023 applications are due on July 1st, and we need resolutions by July 31st. So we still have some time to get resolutions passed. Well, it's time to start talking about some applications. I talked to Harry and I talked to Bob before the meeting. We're recommending Forest Avenue Phase 2, which will pick up where our current Forest Avenue job, either the base bid or what we do at alternate, to go out down to Davis Road. So that would be the majority of the application, and we're looking for one other road.
What are our chances of getting that?
We've been successful the
Shall
past.
I start praying?
We've been successful the past 14 years I've been here getting grants for you, so I
Okay.
don't see any reason we won't get funded.
It's horrible.
How soon?
That's up to DOT.
When's the shovel going in?
Next year.
We were looking for another road. to put
There's
in
a
that.
big sinkhole.
I know that, Eleanor.
don't drive on that road.
I live here, unfortunately.
Works does.
It's her road, Forest Avenue, for those of you who don't know.
Public Works does sinkhole repairs, so you guys talk to your.
It's not a sinkhole.
Okay.
It's bad, whatever it
It's
is.
from people speeding down the road, hitting the speed bump, and then taking the asphalt out. Yes.
Wear and tear.
Yeah,
But the people from that road wanted a speed bump, so they put a speed bump on
and now it hurts the
it.
road.
But the unintended
A lot
consequence,
of buyers do more something to this.
the unintended consequence was what's happening. So I think the committee needs to decide, and maybe talk to the residents a little bit, and ask them their opinions about what should be done. To put the speed bump back,
Why would we do that?
because some of the residents wanted it.
Check with the residents first. You're in a tough situation just because.
You live on the street, it's a tough.
So why don't we talk to the residents as a whole?
We don't need that speed bump.
Well, talk to
Let's
the
talk to the
residents.
residents as a whole.
They wanted it, they came to these meetings, and they wanted it, and then they got it.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get funding for next year.
Speaking of
But
budget,
we'll get sketch. We'll get that in.
Nothing has happened until we get.
We need a
DEP
second road,
permits.
we need to get a second road, so we're mentioning Payne Avenue, because that's been, a road that's been under deterioration for a while, and been discussed, so we mentioned that possibility.
Did you do all pain? You tried
Yeah,
to-
you only go up to the.
First block?
First block.
Okay. So we have that as a possibility, and then Harry mentioned, we did the CDBG applications for the dead ends of first, second, and third. I don't know if you want to consider that, to throw it in there, but it won't do well with DOT, but hopefully the Forest Avenue portion will get you the funding. So it's just, as a throw on, in case you get more money.
I just think it's been difficult finance-wise to pay for anything above what we get
Yeah.
for the,
So you just want to go with Forest Phase 2 and Payne Avenue? Is
that's
that
what you
the case?
recommended.
Yeah, that's down to the sand down there.
Okay. So we'll get started with the application, but we do not need the resolution until next caucus. I'll walk through it if you want.
If I can, Mark.
Yes.
Bob, you and I talked about Mitchell, the street that I'm on, yes. I like the potholes and I like cars going slow. But is there any look at that? I mean, have you guys talked about that? There's a couple of bad spots in it.
There is, yeah.
And
Going down the hill towards.
Well, we did purchase a milling machine that only Public Works has received yet.
no, they haven't got it yet.
We know when that's coming in. Mr. Director, you know when the milling machine's coming in?
No, I do not. We're still waiting on parts.
Why don't you text Mr. Wilson? Because, you know, if we had that milling machine, I understand it's not coming, but then you could mill these potholes. And you could do mill some stuff as possible.
Why isn't Howard here? He used to come over.
If you recall, he's been excused because he's taking the sewer license. And tonight is the same night as the sewer.
That's why he's not coming.
It conflicts with our meetings.
He'll be back soon.
VFW Park, the open space application, the open space committee is starting to make their site visits, so I have a meeting this Thursday to go over the application out of VFW Park. Borough representatives don't have to be there, if you want them to be there, and support it, I'll let you know when that time is, just let me know who would be interested in going, but we have it covered from our end. South Jersey gas pipe easement, that was approved by the ordinance last month, so I'm working with South Jersey Gas regarding their permit application. I got an email that the check is on the way. Okay, so I cannot hold that
And
permit.
how long is the bike path going to be disrupted?
It's not our project.
It's not our
I
project.
know, but don't we get any estimation about how long these, I mean, that's going to be a big ditch on the side of it.
They're only doing openings every so often.
They're doing that drilling underneath. Remember how they dig a hole and then they shoot? It's almost that. It's off to the side of the town.
It's not going to.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect the path.
What?
No, it's
Oh, I know that, but
By the way, we received a check today.
oh,
Shelley said
that's
that.
good.
Okay. The fiscal year 2022 local freight impact fund application we put in for 9th Avenue. We received word that that did not receive funding. A few towns did get that. The ones that got it had more truck traffic than I know. We had to do truck counts out there, and I think we only had 5% truck traffic. The recommended application was 10% or more, but we threw the application in just in case they wanted to throw some money around, but there wasn't any funding for that.
What we gonna do at 9,000?
Resurface it with grant money, but we couldn't get any grant money.
It looks pretty good.
It's starting to get beat up from all the truck traffic for the Amazon. For the warehouse factory. So we're trying to get some funding because of the freight,
Yeah.
but there wasn't enough truck traffic to get us into that. Right.
You should allow to the truck markers, go back.
Yeah.
Runnemede Lake Park Trail, we were having a tough time getting this bridge designed to meet the DEP criteria, only having 6 inches depth. You're going to give me a sketch, a clear sketch of what you were looking for. So I couldn't see if it was 6 feet or 8 feet in that one span.
You already have, once you send me back the copy you have, it's a rotation.
Okay.
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 Is there any way to put pipe underneath that help?
It's all permanent. It gets out of doing a permit by rule. It throws in a full DEP permit. You know, we have to get wetlands mitigation involved and all sorts of things.
Do we use steel?
It's possible, but I know they want to build this by hand, and I don't know how they want to carry steel down. But we're looking into it. It's still on my list of things to try and get resolved. And we're working on it.
With the boardwalks,
So you get everything in?
is there anything happening on that?
Boardwalk.
That's what he's talking about. They don't want us to go greater than 6 inches, and
So
you can't span it.
So if I'm using 2x4 joists, it just makes it hard to span and meet building codes. So I'm trying to marry.
We're trying to avoid this permit.
Right, yes. The 2021 project on North South Island, 2nd Avenue, we have the project punch list for the contractor to take care of. I know we're looking to close that out with DOT and CDBG. And the Davis Road Sewer Extension, we have a public meeting tonight. And as soon as Joyce gets us our minutes, we'll be able to submit those. There's not going to be any plan revisions for tonight's meeting. Last month, I did talk about the temporary access roads on Sunset Evergreen that has added to our cost, but that's all going to be going into the grant application. And that's everything I have. It's new report, anything that Bob can cover. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to.
Really extra everything.
You guys said I was going, so that's good.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Swanson.
Just to add on to Mr. Bayshaw's report, we had the CDBG 2020 and NJDOT 2021 project. We had an award of $250,000 with CDBG. We had initially submitted for $150,000. I was working with the county last week, and they allowed me to submit for another $75,000 of the remaining $100,000.
That's great.
Yes.
Thank you, Shelley.
Yeah. Good job, Shelley.
Did you say an extra 100,000 or something?
No, it's not. We had a grant of $250,000. Usually you have to wait till the job's done to get funded, but they're working with Shelley to get funded as we go.
Oh, that's great. Great.
Okay, we're going to have a closed session, but we're going to open the meeting up to the public first. But I want to make you all aware, I did send everybody out an email today. I don't know if you all saw it.
Yes.
But it did outline the closed session. So after we'll do payment of bills, good and welfare. Then we're going to do a closed session. What that basically means is we're going to go, well, more than likely we'll ask everyone to leave the room, and then we won't have any business after the meeting. We're just going to go over the closed session, and then we'll adjourn. But at this point, let me do the payment of bills, and then we're going to do the public portion. So payment of bills, would someone like to make a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I'll make a motion to pay the monthly bill.
I'll second. A motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Shapiro. Roll call.
Now, Mrs. Kelly.
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein.
Yes.
Mr. Farrell.
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro.
Yes.
And Mr. Ranieri.
Yes.
All right, the bill should be paid. The attorney has nothing, and the chief has nothing. Do you have anything else, Ms. Pinto? Okay, so we're going to do the good and welfare portion, which is open to the public. And then, like I said, we'll go into closed section afterwards. So this is the good and welfare portion of the meeting. Anyone wishing to speak, please come up, state your name and address, and we'll get started. And if we want to do the PowerPoint first, I'll turn the lights down a little bit.
I'm just going to chicken family. Yeah.
You state your name and your address and why you're doing it.
My name is Heather Farrell. My name is Heather Farrell. I'm planning to propose a chicken ordinance. That's it. Oh, and I live at 314 Shepherd Ave. Sorry.
My name is Chris Farrell. I live at 314 Shepherd Ave, and I'm here to speak on amending the current livestock ordinance in Runnemede.
My name is Samantha Sennheiser. I live on 456 Center Avenue, and I'm here to discuss the ordinance involving chickens. No, it's not.
I'm Roberta Lano. I live at 411 Hill Avenue, and I'm also here to talk about chickens. Although I'm probably just going to use the microphone. Just going to do the spring part. Come on over here.
Yep, take over, it's all yours.
So before you get started, do you have anything to submit to us?
So we do. Well, we have
A sample ordinance?
Yes.
Yes. Because obviously, we've looked into this before.
Yes.
And so the two things that we're aware of is an ordinance that has to be passed and adopted, and then a committee that will run this thing. So the last time we did this, I'm a very straight shooting guy. I don't know if you realize that about me. The reason we didn't do it is because the people who wanted to do this were not of the most reputable people. Yeah, I am trying to say it nicely. So it really derailed.
They had
You're
too many
uncomfortable.
violations. You know,
You can't have violations on your home and then ask to do something that is above and beyond what's not there. So if you have a copy of the ordinance, because I know there's many municipalities that have done different variations of this.
So we have, thank you for having us, so let's say that first. Thank you so much for letting us present this to you.
I mean, you got just one.
We have, this is actually, so I want to, let me, in doing all of this, we connected
Go
with
to the
the
microphone.
Dale. Okay.
Or take the microphone out if it needs to.
Before I show the slideshow, hello.
You want to bring the microphone over there? Would that be easier for you guys?
Oh, one person.
It's working.
It doesn't have
I know,
an
that's what
on
I'm
and off
saying.
switch
So
either.
this ordinance here that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Haddon Township actually, I'm going to talk about it in the PowerPoint, but Haddon Township is actually where Gwen Bale lives. She's the chicken lady of South Jersey, that's her name. That's where she lives. And her ordinance is the most well put together ordinance. So what Samantha actually did here was she took the Haddon Township ordinance and she converted it to Runnemede. She converted it to the codes for Runnemede, everything is there. So the new ordinance, what we're proposing is on this blue paper. But I have to, she took care of the, she changed everything. She coded it, she did it all, so she changed it. Well, I did some of the work for her. Just to make it a little less. So I wanted to, before we begin, I wanted to share that we were in contact with Gwen Bale. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Gwen Bale.
When I was here, she introduced this to us about 4 years ago.
Yes, so since
It
then,
got derailed, once again. You know, it's very important, from what I understand with this ordinance, is to have a committee that makes sure, because the borough can't have the expense of doing enforcement.
it's a
So
chicken
someone has to go out, check the coops.
And Gwen calls it the Chicken Advisory
Chicken
Board.
Advisory Board,
And
yes.
since those 4 years, 23 towns have all adopted this.
21 out of the 23.
And most of those towns all border Runnemede, except for Belmar, but all of our bordering towns have adopted this ordinance.
All right, we're going to do my PowerPoint.
Go
That's
for
it. Ready? You want to hit, let me see the iPad too so I can read off of it. Can you see the PowerPoint okay there?
It's okay, Ms.
I'm going to read most of it, so. Okay, so this is the first slide. This is the Runnemede ordinance proposal. Those are my children and my nephew.
It's a touch screen too. Touch screen.
Okay, so go ahead, you can scroll that a second. So our reason why we decided to do this was for sustainability, greener living, current inflation. Lindenwald adopted this policy in November of 2021, and their reason was stated, the municipal governing body of the Borough of Lindenwald wishes to take steps consistent with the state of New Jersey programs to promote going green, saving money and sustaining the quality of life in the long term, and whereas there has been a growing request to adopt one of these initiatives by allowing backyard chickens. So that was Lindenwald's most recent in 2021. Here are just some experts from ABC News and from Tribune, the Cornell University School of Agriculture. Just
some of their comments on backyard chickens.
And this really cute little girl on the right, just so you know, is Lily.
And that is Lily, her daughter.
Oh.
So why would Runnemede residents want chickens? For fresh eggs, sustainable living. They reduce waste. Chickens eat leftovers. They're free natural fertilizers for lawns, garden, and flower beds. This is, I'm just trying to say what I wanted to say about that. We're here today to request the amendment to the Runnemede livestock ordinance because of the sustainability. Over the past few years, we put together a garden in our yard. We're just trying to, and having backyard chickens would allow us to provide a free meal for our family every day. Reduces leftovers, reduces the chemicals used in gardens, fail naturally control insects, as well as weed and aerate beds. They get rid of bugs in your yard, everything.
They are the number 2 eater of lanternflies, by the way.
They eat
They're
lanternflies.
behind praying mantises.
They really-
You can also keep, but
They also
they don't make eggs for you.
They also can be a rodent
Yes.
control also.
They do not
Because
bring in rodents. They actually
They repel them.
Yes.
And
They don't hunt rodents.
They don't
If they're in your
hunt,
yard,
but they will take care of them,
eat
yeah.
the mice that are in your yard.
So you can cut it down. This is backyard versus store-bought. 10% less fat, 34% less cholesterol, 4 times the omega-3s, 40% more vitamin A, a 1/4% less saturated fat, 3 times more vitamin E, and 7 times more beta-carotene. Okay?
Did you bring any samples?
We can get you some.
Well, we could.
My brother's
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, if we pass this, we could.
Here's some, you can go to the next one. These are just some fun facts. I won't read them all. I want to email you guys this. You guys have all of this info in front of you, but they can level a pile of leaf mulch in 2 days. They fertilize 50 foot square garden in a month. Just some fun facts.
Convert 10 pounds of food waste into eggs. Very important.
Yeah, that would just be trash at the curb where there's a cost factor.
Yes, right. Just your food right off your dinner
It's the
table.
trash
Right up to the-
that attracts flies and possums and all that in your yard. So you no longer have those rodents coming in your yard because you're feeding that to your chickens.
I sent everyone, we found this, is actually a news clipping from 1918, a newspaper article of having backyard chickens. It's pretty neat. We can go to the next one. So chickens have therapeutic benefits. So we were actually introduced to chickens in our family because of our niece. She is autistic, and my brother and sister-in-law actually built a chicken coop for her to have these chickens for her as therapy. And they've had them now for about 3 years. This is how we have come to know chickens. And they do wonders for her. They help regulate mood and behavior. I didn't actually put autism in here because there's a wide range of therapy that these are used for. If this gets approved, chickens can come in as therapy in the Ronson house because right now you can't even bring a chicken into the town for any reason. But that could be used for therapy there. There's many things that could come up of this in the town. Myth versus fact, we'll go to the next one. Chickens are livestock for farms only. No, major cities across the nation have been allowing backyard chickens. New York City, Oakland, San Francisco, Houston, Chicago, Seattle, and Portland, and Atlanta. You need a rooster for a hen to lay eggs. That's not true. Hens lay eggs regularly, fertilized or not. If you have a rooster, then you don't want a rooster. We don't want roosters in Runnemede. Roosters are the problem.
That was my question.
No,
I didn't
no
see
roosters.
anything on your thing that says no.
No roosters, just hens.
The only reason
But-
why we need roosters
That
is
was-
like
you wanted
the-
chickens.
Let me ask you a question. Why is it not on this
Yeah, it has to be on
track?
Say no roosters?
Yeah.
It
Say
should.
hens? Yeah, just
Oh.
specifically say
Yeah,
hens.
absolutely should.
Yeah, it should say hens.
I'm working next to
Yeah.
a house that has a rooster. A minute doesn't go by
I-
without this thing.
So this isn't 100% of the ordinance.
I
that you're
apologize, I
recommending.
have the other half right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it should say hens, and that's.
It only looked like
that's-
one
This
page.
is also about the chicken advisory board, I apologize.
Okay.
So yes, hens.
I just
hens
pulled
are
up the
not
Hen
roosters.
Township
Hens are
one,
not
and you were missing a lot.
Yeah.
So,
And I actually have the Hen Township ordinance too, a copy for you, if you can give it script.
And that is how they have it, not modified.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think that, we need to do that.
Absolutely, and I have the Haddon Township one printed out as well, so you can see that, because we did modify it. I think Haddon Township says 8 people on the chicken advisory
This
board.
is directly Haddon Township.
So we don't know.
And with Waltz is a lot more direct, it's just one quick sheet, but.
Yes, I read that. Okay, you need roosters, like hens are noisy, roosters are noisy. Hens are generally quiet, they'll cluck now and again, especially when boasting about having just laid eggs, but by any means, dogs are noisier than hens. My brother and sister-in-law have attested to this. They don't make noise when the sun is down. They are up in the morning, you feed them, they're quiet, they're not noisy, they're not more noisy than the dogs. In the winter, they're in bed at 5 when the sun goes down, and in the summer, they go to bed when the sun goes down. So
That's because they're blinded, right?
noise, yeah, and they get up to their high spot, they want to stay away from predators, so they're just, yeah, they're quiet, they go to bed. Chicken coops smell. A dozen chickens provide very little smell, and if the coop is cleaned out every few weeks or a few months, it's no issue.
And that's mentioned in the ordinance,
And that's-
to keep it maintained.
Yes, there's new measures in the ordinances that kind
That
of
would be
keep
a resident,
cleaner
making a
coops.
complaint, you go to the chicken advisory board,
We-
you gotta take care of it.
So code enforcement, the police department, just
Can I ask a question? My question was, when you just said it about the, I could see somebody 2:30 in the morning calling the officers and saying, I can't sleep, they're making it, you know what I mean?
So they don't. So now in all the surrounding towns that have
Right.
done this, there have been no issues. There have been no
Okay.
complaints.
You know where I was
None.
coming from.
I have,
Oh, yeah.
I got chihuahuas on one
We don't
side,
want- we don't want
exotic
chicken. We
parakeets
don't want
on the other
people-
side.
Yeah, no.
So, to answer, give you a little bit more, chickens, the reason why at night they go into their coop and you don't see them or hear them is because of darkness. They are blind, which is why you have to be really careful with making sure that your coop is safe, or else you will have predators that come in, and that's why
You know,
they are
my other
defenseless.
question.
Yeah.
code enforcement is handled by the police
Very,
department.
yes.
Yeah.
So you can go to the next one. These are just some chicken opponents, people that are opposed to chickens, have issues with smell, noise, disease, lower property value, or fear of the unknown. The new ordinance provides guidelines to a well-kept coop. That's the new ordinance is really to provide for bigger spaces. The chickens do better in the coop because of the size. Noise ordinances already include guidelines for birds. There's no more risk of salmonella than store-bought raw chicken, and many townships and cities in New Jersey have recently changed their ordinance in the past 5 years, and property value has not dropped. You go to the next one. This is the current livestock. Oh, here. This is the current livestock ordinance we're running. This is what it is currently.
It's awful.
You can get scan, you go to the next one.
What about little monkeys?
Monkeys on it?
Monkeys.
You're allowed them?
Yeah, I mentioned that before.
The neighboring towns, these are the neighboring towns that allow chickens. These are just the neighboring towns. The state of New Jersey, this is just popping up left and right. Everybody is doing this. But these are just the neighboring towns. Barrington, Berlin, Clementon, Denver, Glendora, Gloucester Township, Haddonfield, Haddon Heights, Lawnside, Lindenwold, Magnolia, Manningham, Stratford, Washington Township, Woodbury. I know Glendora is Gloucester Township. I just wanted to put it separate. Glendora also has chickens.
And if we're concerned about the sizes of our town compared to other towns, because if you look at Gloucester Township, you would say, oh, well, Gloucester Township has the space, they've got so much more open space. Well, I checked on the USA.com, the ranking of New Jersey state population density, and according to that, we are number 132 for the population density, and Glendora, Barrington, Lindenwold, Magnolia, Stratford, Woodbury, and Oakland are all more dense than Runnemede. And they all allow chickens.
Where were you guys when people were complaining about the town?
And there's only,
The next slide is the Haddon Township ordinance. I put it in the slide, although we did print it out so that everybody can take a look at it. You can go ahead and go, and I believe that might be it. That's it. That's my Miss Molly.
Can you forward this to all the
Yes,
council?
absolutely. I can send the whole PDF to everyone on the council. And we also, so to follow up the Hadfield, which is what you all have. So after the Haddon Township ordinance, we went through it and everything, and then Samantha kind of converted it so they could work her right. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You have something to say? You want to come up?
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, I don't.
Stay at the microphone for a second.
Anybody who has any questions?
Yeah, all of you stay at the microphone.
Guys,
Oh,
go
yes.
Is that your daughter too?
Yes. And
That's
that's my
all,
brother.
that's
Good job.
That's my brother-in-law's coop.
that's Magnolia.
I could have used you 4 years ago when I presented this.
So you know my daughter's name is Lily too, right?
Oh, really? Yes, I actually do know.
Yes, we played that softball together. So let me just talk first, and then I'm going to open up to the members of council. So a couple quick things. When Gwen first started getting involved with this, she proposed pilot programs so that municipalities could try stuff out to work things in detail. Remember, any ordinance is basically 2 readings. So we can pass an ordinance, and then if we have to amend it, we can amend an ordinance and things like that. I'm just giving you all the facts. The issues that I would bring up is, I think there should be consideration on how many and things like that. So the first thing I would say is, how many people are interested? I see 3 families.
We
Is that
all
right?
are interested, yes.
But it's only 3. 1, 2, 3?
No, there's actually a lot more. There are more.
Be specific,
There's
how many
a
more?
Facebook group that I created called Pens for Runnemede that I garnered all these signatures from the town over the last couple of years. And these people are all interested in supporting and in having chickens. I unfortunately don't have the exact number, but I sent about 30 emails to individuals in this town about this particular meeting tonight. And that we
And you see how people show up,
presenting
right?
this ordinance.
My citizens. So the only thing I would say is a pilot program, if we decided to do it, I would limit it to people who are engaged, because they would be the ones to be the advisory. Because remember, all these towns have basically said, people who are engaged aren't self-enforcing, it doesn't work. Because the police department cannot be added on the chicken police. The code enforcement can't be added on doing this. So, and then the limitations, and the thing that we always talk about is the rights of the other residents. And that's at least my biggest concern, I believe council's biggest concern, is always the rights of others.
So all of those numbers are in there. How far away it needs to be from homes, to keep the distance from everybody, also.
So all
20
homes,
feet
all
from all
homes won't
residents.
qualify.
Well, I saw
All
that.
homes won't
Will not
qualify,
qualify.
no. And the way that it could work, I mean, it depends, obviously, you guys make the rules, but there are many ways, like we can go by steps. Like we check, we make sure, and then you approve the final. Do they get the license? Do they get that license from the town?
So, and I saw in the ordinance that Haddon Township had 30, and I think you were proposing 30 also.
30 head, oh no.
There's 30 per.
Oh, 30 per.
They're much larger, they're larger than us. Now, I would say that I'm not a big fan of limiting the amount of anything, except for the first
Year, I would say. give it-
except for at the beginning. I would say we have to figure this out. Because, once again, the reason Runnemede did not do this 4 years ago, we're very into sustainability and all that, was our concerns about the people who were willing to do
That's why I
it.
think the steps.
So you guys show a little more,
Yes.
even though Gwen is phenomenal, she just picked the wrong people to, she knows this. I talked to her, she was very embarrassed about it. She picked the wrong person to.
We seeked her out.
Yeah, I actually wanted to do this and then found her.
Yeah.
Because everybody said, well, you gotta reach out to her, and then I did, and then we learned kind of through there.
So the only problems the town has had, I'll be very honest with you, is we've had a few people with chickens and they run around the town, which has been a problem. We've had a few people with ducks, and once again, holding ducks and things like that, and we've had a few issues. Rats, if Miss Passy was here, it's one of the biggest problems in the borough. And rats are caused by what? They're caused mostly by people not taking care of their properties. And so, I told you, I believe in people's rights. They have the right to do a lot of things, but when their rights impede on somebody else, that's where the problems happen. We had problems with skunks and things like that, and so, it's up to council's decision. Just so you guys know, I don't have the right to vote. I didn't make the agenda.
Can I suggest something? Because I've got an interest here, and I worked pretty hard at presenting this to the council 4 years ago. The pilot program, I think, is the way that we would want to do it. And I think we should limit it. And if there's already 4 people, maybe the first year, maybe 6 people.
4 or 6, a small number.
6, half a dozen people.
Whatever the advisory committee, you
back
become the
with-
advisory committee.
If you guys are the advisory committee, I'm all for that, if it's presented that way. It's got to be a pilot program in my mind. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great for families and kids and grandparents and parents. Cuts down on all the back and forth to the supermarket. There's a lot of great benefits. So I'm all for it.
You don't have to feed the chicken?
There's got to be a second. They'll eat all your scraps.
They do,
You gotta buy food.
You gotta buy food. It's a little less than our garbage.
Yeah.
I am not, my uncle has 1,000 chickens.
And just I also want to say, every,
We got rid of that, let me just remind everybody. The reason all those towns passed an ordinance is because all those towns passed ordinance to get rid of farm animals. And everybody's changing again. And the reason we got rid of them, and I'm not Debbie Downer, but the reason it was because of the problems of farm animals in a community. Once again, I agree with you, dogs can be awful. People don't clean up their dog.
Exotic birds.
I do want to say, every single pilot program that has been attempted has been successful in New Jersey. Every pilot program.
Yeah.
When.
It's a different
She
time.
did say,
It's a different time.
she actually said, don't even, you know,
So
I
what's
mean, that
the
was
next
us,
step?
don't even divide to the, I mean, obviously it's up to you whether we
It's a
do the pilot
different-
program, but she did say every pilot program has been successful, so,
Yeah.
Figure out what we're gonna do.
yeah.
Eleanor, what's your opinion? No?
We don't need.
Mr. Ranieri, you like the idea?
I like the idea.
Mr. Farrow? Mr. Shapiro?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, what are your questions? What are your doubts?
I'm
Any
just
questions?
thinking about it. My main concern is just, smell, stuff like that.
The oversight.
Well, there's good and bad to it, but as of right now.
We have the final say about the pilot program.
But, no, but I just would rather have, if you have any questions
Right.
or doubts,
Yeah, we're here.
It's
I know a
something
lot of
different,
times.
so, it's 4 people out of a town of how many?
absolutely.
Well, it's very
So,
different
you know,
to
8,003.
advocate.
Mr. Longstein?
My only concern is, you talk about composting or eating up the waste of food. You can't have food on the ground. Food cannot go on the ground because that attracts the rats, the other vermin that is not supposed to come around.
When you say ground, they're in pens, there's.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
You don't fit it there, yeah, you're not,
No,
putting food in the
So-
yard.
Yeah, if I
It's-
put the
it's
window out
inside.
my
Yeah,
kitchen,
yeah, it's
you
inside.
know.
One at a time.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, the
fine.
woman across the street from me, she had 12 chickens. They're running all over the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's my.
Yeah, I would call it. That's
Yeah,
happening
yeah,
on my
and so
street.
do I. The ordinance really does cover all that.
If you're
There would
gonna,
be oversight too.
Yeah.
if you're gonna have, coops that are well-run, the advisory board, be careful what you wish for. Make sure that people you get on with the chicken program are gonna listen to the advisory board. It can get very confrontational. People can easily say, well, I don't think the chickens need to be in a coop.
Well, you have the backing of the police department.
Yes.
The back end is for the law, the ordinance, absolutely, yeah.
Let me finish. And, that's my only thing with it. I'm not concerned about the people on either side of me are not gonna have chickens.
So is that a yes to the pilot program?
Yeah.
So we have to, so that was just a straw poll, it's not a.
Yes, yes,
What I would say is we'll get a copy of the actual ordinance, we can look at it, we can tweak it, because, there are little differences that we might want to consider. And once again, I'm okay with it. If anybody knows where I live back in the wooded area, which is the 3.9. So I don't think they're a big deal, but I will say what's a big deal is rodents are a concern. If you just want to Google rats and Runnemede, you will see all the negative
They're probably on our
comments.
side. And
Yeah,
this would
they're
help
on your
combat
side.
that. And this would help
Well, in
combat
our
that.
yard, for that least.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and every time the Board of Health comes down, they blame homeowners, they blame firewood, they blame feces, they blame food scraps, they blame, messy areas for them to congregate and live.
Food scraps.
And so this is what people, I'm not upset, I'm not concerned about the good people, I'm only concerned about bad people.
That was always like a stigma though.
Right.
Like, it's going to help with rodents, it's going to help with mice.
Yeah.
Actually, the number one attractor for a rat is dog feces.
Yeah.
And that's like the first thing.
And it's one of the biggest problems we have.
But everybody has a dog.
I mean, once again, I think it's the council's decision. I mean, I weigh right down the middle, because I think it really comes down to the individual. And the only problem is,
You only have a voice if it's a top.
I only have voice if it's a tie, so it comes down to the individual. Well, I'll say it right now, if it was a tie, I would vote on the pilot program.
There you go.
I would vote
You
on
would
the pilot
vote for it.
Only because, Eleanor, while I agree with your concerns, absolutely agree with your concerns,
It'll be oversight.
I agree that we need to amend the ordinance, get rid of monkeys.
I
And
don't trust these.
Wow.
Us, okay.
Easy.
They're chicken people.
That's a real statement?
They're chicken people.
Is that a real statement?
That's a woman.
Mayor, I'm sorry, if that was a real statement,
That's
her bias should not be included on this.
Well, you know,
Hold on, wait a second. I have to correct you on that one. She has a vote, she's
She
an
has a
elected
vote.
official, regardless of what they're buying.
She doesn't like us chicken people.
Okay, but she is elected by the people of Runnemede to have.
there's people who don't like politicians.
I'm gonna have to leave this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you don't like these chicken people?
You're not gonna.
Mayor, I'm
You're
sorry.
not gonna do.
Well, it's not how you convince somebody. I think you should come back.
Chris,
Yeah,
yeah,
It's not how you convince somebody.
yeah. that's-
You don't convince
You're
people.
not gonna do this town any good. I don't see a need for chickens.
Okay.
That's all.
you know, it's a vote. The reason it's democracy is everyone has a vote.
Yes. Could I just quickly bring up something from 2019? There was a listeria scare and over 206 million eggs had to be recalled. And that can easily happen at any time from the food supply chain.
Absolutely.
And we all know what's happening with the formula right now with babies. And I don't want something like that to happen with anything that's food-wise.
No, the Borough has gone sustainable.
Yes, this would give us the peace of mind to...
Correct. Easy.
I want to.
We're going to teach you how to be a politician.
I was as sweet as possible. She just said, I don't like these people. She just said that to us.
She has an
It's okay.
opinion about it, just like people with dogs and cat people don't like each other.
You need 4 votes, you got it.
Hey, you gotta chill.
Yeah, you might not get the votes. Chris,
Yeah, you got it.
I'm going to warn you.
Yeah,
So stay there, Chris. No, you can be a man. Just stay
I
there.
wish if it could be a calm conversation, that would be fine.
It is a calm conversation.
It's calm.
You don't find that unacceptable? You don't find that unacceptable that she just said, I don't like West people?
I do not limit anybody's opinion. I don't limit anyone's opinion. I don't gavel anyone's opinion. Your opinion is your opinion.
I've been in council, this, not because he's
I
my son.
understand.
Listen, okay, so I'll say that, but I've been on council 6 years. If Eleanor Kelly doesn't come up with the idea, she's against everything for 6 years. I don't understand you, Eleanor. It's your way or the highway. And it's always been that way. You have to dominate every possible thing there is. And we sit there and take it. Everybody takes it and looks at you because it's just the way it is. I don't understand it that way.
But
You don't even give it a chance.
we don't silence anybody. You know that.
No, I understand that, and I'm just saying, everybody should speak their mind, but it's always, if it isn't what you're presenting, you're against it.
We haven't always been unanimous. There's a few times.
I'm just saying, with due respect, I'm not saying, I love
Yeah, I know.
it just seems that it's
Strong opinions. Very strong opinions.
Yes.
And she doesn't hide the way she feels.
No.
But it shouldn't overshadow the progress we're making today. This is progress. It's a sustainable program. It's a great program.
And we probably would have been doing it 4 years ago.
Sometimes things go sideways, but it's nothing we can't get
All right,
past.
so consensus, I believe, is for a pilot, correct?
Yes.
I believe so, Mr. Lavasani.
All right, I'll go for it.
There we go.
There you go, 5.
Mr. Shapiro.
For the pilot,
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll draft an ordinance. I will tell you that we're going to limit, you know, I'm from Hack Township, so population is a lot larger and a lot different. So I would argue that I would want to be very conservative with the amount of homes. I feel that you have put your necks out there, so I would even limit it to 3 or 4. Like I said, a very small group of people to really show that it can be positive. And then you guys start to vet people, because that's the argument.
Yes.
When you have people who are abusing it and taking advantage, and then we have to waste resources, it's not fair. If it's a problem with the neighbors, it's not fair. So even though we're concerned, and I'm concerned, I really am. I haven't changed my mind for 4 years. I've never brought it back up again because there wasn't anybody who really brought it to our attention. Just like speed bumps and roads and all the other stuff, it has to be brought to our attention. But we'll put it on for discussion. The ordinance, we'll read it. I don't tell you how fast it'll move because it does take a minimum of 2 meetings. It's 2 meetings. So,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Great job. Well done.
I want to see chicken shirts, chicken people shirts. So she knows who you are. Quit you out.
All right, we'll work out something.
He's passionate.
He's passionate.
He's passionate.
Yes, for sure. That's for sure.
Elmer's
That's one
passionate.
way.
We're all
Yes.
passionate.
We're going to keep him out of
He
politics.
is. Well, we get stuff done. You never know.
We got to put it tough. You're so easy. Maybe Mom.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Great job.
Easy, Mom. I knew you'd get there.
You're going to send us the email?
Yes, I'll email everyone that
We're all-
Leah has it and that you have it. I can
Yeah.
send it.
Oh, yeah, I do have it. You're right. You're right.
Thank
How's
you.
the school board been?
Good. That's
What do you
okay.
think?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Are your kids in the,
Fun.
you're
My homeschool. Yeah.
you're homeschooling and on the school?
Well, I'm homeschooled. I'm a preschool teacher at West Centre.
Very interesting.
Yes.
That'd be like me being a chef and I'm eating my own food.
Why are you homeschooling now?
We homeschool, many reasons.
I also
Incoming
homeschool.
curriculum, just schools, mass mandates, many reasons. I don't,
Well, good luck.
yeah, thank you.
My kids came through Volts and Triton.
My older kids,
Yeah,
I actually have one,
Sure.
yeah, I have one, I have 3, and one is, she's in Triton now. So she went to Volts as well, and she's in Triton now, but my 2 little ones.
very good with the PowerPoint.
Thank you.
And we actually did it, that's why we bought the machine. So you're only like the third person to use it.
So you haven't seen it in a couple weeks, right?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
everyone. See you. Thank you.
All right, the public portion is still going. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Dave?
We did. We did. Let's finish.
Hi, my name is David Steinberg. I live at 825 East Everett Road, 313. And I thought I heard somebody say Runson chickens in Runson House. We could use some chickens in Runson House.
Therapy.
Therapy. Thank you. Therapy, yeah.
I thought this was chickens for raising food.
No. We're just talking about the quality of the animal and how they help the community. And there are, of course, there's chickens they can be brought over and show and tell or whatever.
Not just food, it's therapeutic also.
In fact,
In a big way.
I think some of you might think I need a therapy chicken.
You're on the list.
You're sharp.
on the list.
You're sharp.
Hey, if that's what it is, that's what it is. By the way, I know Gwen very, very well. I used to serve with her in Sustainable Haddon Heights when she was with us. We used to do the farmers market in Haddon Heights several years. I used to draw the people in, and she used to tell me all about the chickens and composting and all the other things that we were doing there as well. So I consider Gwen to be a good friend and fabulous person, absolutely fabulous. One quick thing, I want to direct this to Craig. When I came here several months ago, we talked about having someone from Reimagine Runnemede to be able to take care of the labyrinth site. We now have someone there, so I'd like to work with you to so we will take care of all the grass cutting, all the edging, flowers, etc., etc. So I just wanted to pass that along to you. Okay. So do I need to talk to Harry, or do you need to talk to Harry?
So the only thing we need is whoever the volunteer is, we have a form that they fill out, basically just indemnifies us that we have.
A whole list.
Yes.
Okay.
We've done it many times.
Where do I get the form?
I believe we have it, we've used it on other occasions. We'll make sure we get it to you somehow. When do you want to start on this?
Pardon me?
When do you want to start?
To start
The volunteers.
right now.
All right, so tomorrow we'll try to get the,
Yeah,
the hard one, because it's a civil
form.
form that just says
Okay.
that, you know.
You'll send it, Dave.
We'll have to find it.
Would I need to sign it?
No, whoever's doing the work.
Whoever's doing the work.
Okay, got it.
Just to hold harmless, to not to sue the borough.
It's like what we did for the trails and.
Yes.
what we
Yeah,
did
okay.
for The artist in the park,
Yes.
they all have to
Artist
sign, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not asking for insurance or anything like that. We're just saying that somebody's volunteering.
Mr. Spiro's
We
in
just
charge of
don't, we
parks.
just don't want to have the liability.
Richie's in charge of Parks and Rec. Are you okay with that too?
Okay. All right, thanks, Dave.
Okay, and when are you gonna call me?
When I hit time.
Oh, come on now, he's been saying that.
So let's be clear, for you people in the audience, not people, you in the audience. He's calling me for business. I'm sometimes not a good businessman. So he's calling me for work, not for my mayor's job. My mayor's job, I do answer the phone much better.
You should have told me that a year ago.
You know, and
Oh, well.
I will. Been tough.
Yeah, but we want to meet some deadlines for our next program on the first, and concerning times of insurance.
It's tough.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
You okay? Anyone else in the audience? I see a lot of people here. No one wants to speak? No, you came to the meeting just to watch? Come on up.
Yeah.
I get yelled at for doing that, but I don't care.
I'm John O'Malley from Congress, 33rd Road. Actually, I'm here about the sewer line expense.
Oh, good.
In fact, remember you told me about when you came on the service station.
Oh, John. Yeah, John, I'm sorry. I'm used to seeing you working, and yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, everybody, when I go to church, people don't know me. Because I'm dressed up to the seat when I go. But anyway, I know, I said, when you said, I was earlier in favor of you, when you told me about that, because we've been, when Davis Road for going on 40 years, and it was, something was going to happen. We were told right around that time it was going to happen, it never happened.
They wanted to do it 40 years ago?
It took somebody like you to get something going. I got to give you credit for that.
Well, it's not done yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I have to over here away from Laura because of that extension, you know, I seen it in Littleton, I always look at it.
Very good.
See it, looking at it, see it, I think it was, I got West where I talked about, I had a stroke about two years ago, number 5, that's not a fact.
I'm good.
Well, we're gonna get it done, we are gonna get it done.
But actually, I heard that the gentleman talk about it, you know, and he said, I know you're waiting for the environmental.
Yeah.
I know about the environmental, but I know, I'm dealing with them people right now.
You've got a gas station, yeah?
I had to put test wells in for the pollution, you know what I mean? I know all about that stuff. It cost me a lot of money.
Well, we're very happy that Barrington and Runnemede were working together to get this project done.
Like I say, I'm glad somebody's working for it, you know, towards it anyway, because, you know, we don't have any problem with our septic system, but, you know, it's an old system. And I know if we ever sell the house, that we probably have to upgrade.
Yeah.
I know with your house, I knew you spent a lot of money on your septic system. I know people come in and tell me different things, what's going on. People, residents of Runnemede and everything. And I know that, you know, but still, let's put it this way. With the sewer system, it's got a lot of advantage. And you know, and when you resale value is
Well, that's what we're hoping.
yeah, it's something, you know, it's an improvement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Let's do. No problem, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Glad you showed up. Nice seeing you again.
Okay.
Sir, what is your last name?
John O'Malley.
O'Malley.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
830 Davis Road.
Do you want to speak?
Thank you.
No? Anybody else want to speak?
Okay.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
The chief is here and he's going to want to talk about the billing company.
Yeah, Chief, you picked a tough night. Come on up.
Chief, everybody has copies of this, so.
If you just want to just summarize it, I think you've got the support of everybody here. I think the lawyer, our attorney,
This is Senator Funches, he's one of my captains, he helped me get this program off and running. We both worked on it together.
Good.
Presented it to Mrs. Kelly. It's basically for us to start trying to recoup some of our billing money back from billing out on motor vehicle accidents. We go after the insurance company, which are already paying into a premium that covers that. So it's just to offset the budget. I believe it's level 1 was a 500, and you got the paperwork.
Yeah, level 1, which is basically just one of the drive things coming up, is cost will recoup roughly $546.
So it depends on the equipment that you send out there.
There's different levels.
You have
Yeah, there's level 1, which is just your basic motor vehicle accident. We allow the mitigated spill, we stabilize the situation, and then we'll be able to bill that $546. Then there's the level 2, level 3, where if you're getting into extrication or anything like that, or cut the patient out of the car, or it goes to a level where it's a hazmat. We had an incident not too long ago where we had a box truck that was full of 55-gallon drums of turpentine, all kinds of other things. It turned into it went from a level 1 to a level 3, which, you know, in level 3, the rate is...
Level 3 is, the level 3 is 760.
Yeah.
And that's not including per hour. So the chief takes his fire truck, his car out to the turnpike or anywhere.
Yeah.
You keep adding. If we have to get
use the dry, all that stuff.
if we get to extrication where we got to extricate somebody else, that's an added $1,600 on top of the level 1. And it keeps adding, and everything, all this right here is just for the first hour. Once you go into the hour, it starts adding and adding.
Well, this is to recoup our costs for the
Yes,
service that we're
it's
providing.
right now, we're going out and mitigating spills on state highway on non-residents, and it's costing us and our
Taxpayers'
budgets and our
money.
taxpayers.
Yes. We're not getting
money,
it back.
and we're not getting anything back. That's why we want to institute this program, to start going back.
It's being done throughout the state, other municipalities are doing this. and-
Currently in the area, Mount Ethan is using the program. We spoke with the chief, we got all kinds of information from him.
What's the cost to do it?
Nothing.
What's the downside?
There's no downside to.
Yes.
Well, the building company
The building
gets
company
a,
takes.
the building company
They
gets
get 22%.
They get a 22, they
They're
get
gonna cut
22.
us something we wouldn't have gotten anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I fully support it, I approved it, I reviewed everything, it's good.
Yes.
I just give you one quick fact. Last year, for 2021, we had 76 billable accidents. For the first 3 years to the current date when we met with Mr. Kelly, we had 27. So if you basically roll that $510, just a rough estimate, average of what Naifram is getting right now, it's $510 per claim. So for 103 accidents from last year and up to this day, in which we probably had more from the time we met with Ms. Kelly to now, we're looking at roughly bringing it back to $52,000.
All set.
All set.
Budget. Help maybe help purchase equipment, you know, the oil driver we're purchasing.
No, this is great. It's exactly what we're looking for you to do.
Yep. All we need from.
Yeah, the contract will be recruited, we'll do it at the call, at the
Yeah,
council.
do it at
Yeah, there's a draft resolution.
at council.
It wasn't on the agenda, but it's gonna get walked on. We'll get it, well, not walked on, we'll put it on.
Well, the attorney has it already.
Yeah, they sent a draft resolution. I don't think I sent it to Joyce, but I will.
Yeah.
So it'll be on the council.
I was hoping you bailed.
It'll be adopted, resolution, we'll sign it.
And once you guys do that, we'll move forward.
Probably don't have to-
Provide us the software to download onto our computers, our PCs, our tablets, to where we can start entering the information right at the call. That's great. Samuel works for Camden County Prosecutor's Office on the crash team. He has a lot of connections with the state police, local police, getting police reports and getting any other information that we may need to help keep this program running forward. That's why I asked him to be on.
You're allowed to smile.
myself. He's got a lot of.
I was getting a little intimidated.
He's got a lot of connections in the law enforcement area where he'll be able to help us out with getting reports and whatever else we might need.
It's good, I'm glad you're part of this. That's great, you know, that you're involved.
No problem.
Yeah. No, this is good.
All right?
Okay, we'll make sure it's on the
This will
agenda.
be on council. Yep.
Yeah.
He's good because when we have a bad accident, you know, also respond and he responds. So the prosecutors, they do a fantastic job.
Are we your region or are you just because you're?
I have 37 municipalities.
Yeah,
I
the whole county.
The whole county, I know. I'm the head guy, I'm the coordinator for the crash team through the prosecutor office. I roughly have 3 task force guys with 2 possible other task force guys coming on. But like right now, I'm covering. That's why I'm in
That's a lot of
right now, I'm covering for the street.
And with him, before he got that position, we could never get nobody from the prosecutor's office. So he took it over, he shows up to everyone, which is a benefit to us.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you,
He's
Jim.
volunteering?
Yes, he's a captain of our department. He was a former chief of Alongside Fire. He lived in the town.
Okay.
We've known each other since we were, known him actually.
Good, keep an eye on it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great, great.
Thank you, Chief. We're looking forward to a very profitable year.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone else from the public wishing to speak? No one else? Okay, seeing no one else, is there a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Second by motion by Mr. Ranieri, second by Mr. Lobenstein. All in favor? The public portion is closed. We're going to go into closed session, so I would ask everyone if you could. I need a motion to go closed session with would be a resolution.
It would be a resolution, and it's to discuss personnel.
Resolution 2277.
Discuss personnel matters. We approximately got 30 minutes and we'll only be coming out.